the fog of Franklin's Gardens, and maybe the fog of war, depending on the brutality of the contest. It's Saturday afternoon, it's a sold-out Gardens, it's Saints v Sharks. It's the Gallagher PREM back on your screens, and Alex Coles makes his first claim, a firm favourite in these parts after only just a few games. And Hendy, hat-trick last week, sears through the middle, Pollock on the shoulder. There's only one outcome. HP delivering the sauce from the get-go for the Northampton Saints.
Cowan Dickey.
Mitchell to Dingwall, just lifted into a gap and clattered. Still there for Saints. Hendy accelerates through the hole. And he has got a taste for tries this December, George Hendy. A dozen up in a dozen minutes for the Saints at the Gardens. Wright gets wrestled to the deck. Dingwall over the top, hands from Pollock. Beautiful pickup from Kemeny, slung inside. And Toby Tame, who only made his first Premiership start a couple of weeks ago, gets in on the try-scoring act. There's an urgency to the Sharks. They know they need to make this count. Oh, but they've spilt it forward. And advantage. They haven't spilt it forward. O'Flaherty takes off. A Superman finish.
I've got a knock-on in the tackle. Then a second knock-on.
It's a great finish from Flaherty, but I do think there's a knock-on in the middle of the pitch from the Sale Sharks, which we're going to check this afternoon, putting him off. But if he misses this, it's game on for Saints. Still not enough off, they're going to get it in.
Taken in a flash by Tadaro. Hendy skipping around. There's a lot of space out left, but so few Saints numbers. Kemeny weaving his way through a sea of Sharks. Jeff Kemeny with one of the finishes of the season. Wow!
Yeah, they've got to act fast here, Sale Sharks. Get themselves back in this game. As we know.
And a penalty for Saints. An easy opportunity to drive themselves upfield, and in this instance throw the ball around without much consequence. Lovely slink of the hit and acceleration through the hole. Support on the left in the shape of Hendy, who twists O'Flaherty inside and out. And George Hendy just cannot stop scoring right now. Vermeulen, a hurried ball, coughed up, and it's on for Saints. Oh, it's plucked by O'Flaherty. Acrobatically, instinctively, spectacularly. And the Sharks have themselves another try. And Saints are really defending hard here as Sale Sharks pound away at their try line. There's penalty advantage. Jabulu's not quite there. Bedlow ignored, whipped to Reed, who had so much room, he could barely decide where to score. But he makes no mistake, and Sale have a third. Potentially Kemeny, we all know what he can do from this range. Pearson on the shoulder, and now a real bit of spice and venom in the match. Another intercept opportunity, lifted into the grip of George Fairbairn, who careers over to make Franklin's Gardens. Saints looking to close out this match on a high. Tom Pearson piercing the set, the Sharks defensive line one last time. Northampton finishing with a festive flourish.
Phil, in the week, Sam Vesti said that you were tracking at about 6.5 out of 10, the Saints. What would you give that performance out of 10 tonight?
Well, there's so many different facets to it. I wouldn't necessarily, off the top of my head, I would say that was a good 8 out of 10. I think we were, particularly in the first half, very good. I thought we looked very lively and we looked threatening across the park.
What elements specifically pleased you the most about the performance today?
I think when you're playing against Sale, I mentioned it beforehand, the physical attitude of the players to hit, to carry, the breakdown, but also the set piece. And I thought the scrimmaging first half was very strong. And I thought we wanted to play fast, and we looked for opportunity, and we created plenty of that.
I think the scoreline reflected the difference in the teams today. I think it was not a tough one to take in terms of the outcome because we were thoroughly beaten in most areas. So it's not a back to the drawing board scenario. You know, like I think strategy, that's on the coaches first half, a bit of a long and on plan that kind of fed them on the counter. Bit of work rate issues from the lads, and they said that at half time. I felt like that got better in some aspects in the second half, but basics, all game. You know, and you can't play the game without the ball, and we lost a lot of ball again in the set piece. And then when you're down there, you've got to make teams pay, and I don't think we were clinical enough in opposition 22. So we haven't got time to kick stones. We haven't got time to sulk about it. We've got 5 days to pull tight and turn it around and welcome Quins with some proper northern hospitality at the core pack. So that's what we'll do. We'll get back in and we'll pull tight and we'll welcome some of our internationals coming back from injury, which there will be. And you know, I'm not saying we need them right now, but they're good additions to any team. And we'll push hard and we will endeavour to do what we've done for the last few years and defy some of the odds in being really competitive in the second half of the season, 2026.
So with that 8 out of 10 in mind, what comes with the next 2 points? What do you want to see? How do the Saints get better than that?
I mean, there's always going to be mistakes. It's never a game of perfect, and nor should it be. But there's some discipline issues. Giving the ball up cheaply at times. I think our breakdown could have still been better in terms of, and they've got some great guys over the ball, Cowan Dickey and Curry, etc. So I think the breakdown could have been better and could have created more opportunities and given them less sniff of it. We have an incredible group of people. You know, a team that I'm so privileged to be part of. And so when we find ourselves in adversity, as we are now, with our backs against the wall, invariably, we find the best of ourselves and we turn and we group and we fight and we scrap for each other. Ultimately, that's what it comes down to, but you layer on that some of the game intelligence of your best players being fit at the right part of the season, and it's looking like all of our injured players who have been injured, that's taking nothing away from those lads today. You know, like Alex Wills, and Ollie Davis and Tom Burrow and Toomey, all these lads are like young lads who have really shown that they can compete at this level. Nothing away from them, but you know, they're not a Bevan Rodd or a George Ford or a Joe Carpenter or a Tom Roebuck. You know, we've got these lads to come and bolster us, and when you marry up that team spirit with some real high game intelligence and experience, then magic starts to happen, and we're going to need a little bit of Christmas magic, aren't we, on Boxing Day?